folks. Hey, it's Mitch, it's Mike, it's Mitch and Mike's voiceover journey, except it's not Mitch, it's Mitch 2.0. Woo! We got Mitch North in the house again. Mitch Lashinsky has a little bit of on-camera work going on today. Don't know what it is. It's a super secret project, so hopefully we find out more from him later on. But on today's program, we are interviewing Sam Philyaw and Rob Harrower. And they have some very exciting stuff. Sam, did I pronounce the name right? Because I get stuff wrong all the time.
Surprisingly, great job.
Good deal. Yeah, I don't know if we had Katie Jostock on, Joe Stock, and that's what I kept on doing was calling her Jostick, and it became a running joke, and so now that's stuck in my head. So I am definitely the name meister. So I apologize in advance if because I said it right once. It doesn't mean I'm going to continue to say it right.
It's okay. I won't correct you.
Well, thank you. Yeah, just roll with it. All right. Also, I have to apologize. Mike's been a little sick, and so Mike's voice is a little rough today. I'm sounding really manly today, and so bear with me. Hopefully, it holds up for the rest of the show. But let's say hi to Mitch real quick. Mitch, how you been, brother?
I've been just fine. Actually, the reason I was a little bit late today was I was actually with Katie Lee in Pigeon Forge, a little mini promo for her new virtual reality experience called Truth Traveler. So she stopped around here, around my neck of the woods, and we went and checked it out.
Very cool. Friend of the show, Katie Lee. Can't wait to see her and actually meet her in person for the first time there in Atlanta, so that'll be cool. But we're not interviewing Mitch today. Mitch is helping me interview Sam and Rob. So Sam and Rob, and let's just go Sam first, because, sorry, Rob, Sam's prettier than you are, so it makes sense to do that. So Sam, you're very well known in the voiceover world. I know a lot of people that know you, which is cool. I feel like I know the right people because they know you at times. So, but how long have you been doing voiceover?
Ooh, like how long have I been working in voiceover, or how long have I been like in voiceover in general?
I mean both. Start in the beginning.
Okay, so I've been a working voice actor for 5 years, just over 5 years now. I started in January of 2021.
COVID baby.
And I've been studying and practicing since 2017. So almost 10 years.
So what, from 2017 to 2021, what was it you were studying? What held you back from like making the jump into actually doing it as a profession?
Good question. Finances, mainly. It was, I think I was in my mid-20s, roughly at that point, maybe early 20s. Fresh out of college, pretty much, and just trying to make some money and also go into voice acting. So I didn't realize that voice acting was an actual career until 2016. We started watching anime for like a year or two, and it finally dawned on me that I'm hearing the same voices over and over again. So I do some research into it, and I'm like, oh, this is actually a thing, and it's like everywhere. I love this. So I started doing YouTube videos, watching, absorbing whatever information that I could. I bought a mic, and I still use the same mic that I bought in 2017. Yeah. I bought a mic, I bought an interface, I bought, cheap equipment that I could use, and started doing practice scripts on my own. And I didn't actually start coaching. I saved up the money and I started coaching in 2019. I took my first acting class in person, and started doing like one-on-one voice acting coaching in later 2019, and went like pretty much full-time training in 2020 to start in 2021. So yeah, it's a big investment, and that was the main thing that kept me from going for it earlier.
Okay. Well, leading up to that, leading up to 2027, you said you didn't know voice acting was a thing until 2016. But when you found out it was, you said, "I want to do that." Obviously, you've got some creative juices in you, and so I'm assuming that young Sam was creative in one way or another. What did young Sam do
Young
creatively?
Sam wanted to be a singer. I've been singing my whole life, and I used to write lyrics. I wrote short stories. I did drawings and like coloring and a lot of creative things. And I had some immediate family members that were like, "No, you're not going into a creative field. You need to go into something that is actually going to like support you financially in the future." And so, when I went into college, I went in for like computer science,
Okay.
computer information systems,
Like
because
the
I studied
opposite of
computers and built
creativity.
computers.
Yeah.
So like the creative juices were kind of like snuffed a little bit for a while until until about 2016 when I went into voice acting. I've been in several different careers. So I started with computers. I was building like laptops, refurbished computers, and doing software and stuff for a few years, and went into college for that. And then I started doing culinary arts,
Okay.
which I was actually the management part of it because they didn't have the arts. So I went into like restaurants and was going to be a private chef. Realized that I hated being in the kitchen with other people because it is just not a great environment, as most people will tell you.
Yeah, we've all seen The Bear by now, so.
Exactly. And then I went into personal training, like fitness, and I was studying to be a life coach as well, and a nutritionist. And I think there was a couple of other things somewhere in there. I did customer service for a while, and then just hit on voice acting, and saved up the money to do that full time, and that's how it got me here. Like, I was a singer, and then I kind of got out of that industry, and then went back and full-fledged into. I never thought I'd be an actor for sure.
And this is stuck. You did all of that where you're like, yeah, I don't want to do computers. Yeah, I don't want to do culinary. Yeah, I don't want to do personal training. But then you found voice acting. And you're like, all right, this is the stuff right here.
Yep. I was like,
Well-
this is it for me. Like, I've been good at a lot of things that I've done because I put in the effort. I am a very precise type of person. I want to know everything about the thing that I'm doing. But acting, it put me back in that childhood space of writing lyrics and singing and doing other creative things, and it allowed me to be free in a way that I've never felt before. And that is floodgates opened into what we're doing now with IAP and what we have planned for the future in that. So it's been a journey for sure.
IAP, that would be Iridescent Acorn Productions. I'm sure we'll come up to that in a bit. But let's switch gears and let's talk to Rob for a little bit. So Rob, same question. I mean, you obviously got your start somehow, some way. What was it that led up to the decision to start trying to voice act, and when did that happen? And then, take us along that and bring us up to speed.
Thank you very much. Well, for me, actually, my acting career actually started on stage. So I actually, prior to being a voice actor, I was a stage actor, and that's sort of what I wanted to continue in. And I've always loved the stage. Every time, I get a chance to go see a stage show, I jump on that. I'll be going in a couple of weeks actually to see a very good friend of mine do a rendition of Clue, and so I always loved the stage, and being able to perform and act on stage was a wonderful thing for me. But the last stage show that I did was in 2012. It was the Full Monty. Yeah.
You had one of those parts, did you?
I actually was the character who progressively got better dressed as the as the show went on, as opposed to less dressed. And that was kind of the last stage show that sort of happened. And one of the things that kind of prevented me from sort of continuing on is I became a dad. Right, and so you
Can't
just
be flashing your junk on stage if you're a dad.
That's it. And I became a dad, and so my focus kind of changed to raising my daughters at that point. And it was really around 2019, 2020 when I began listening to podcasts and audio dramas, and when I had found ones that I really enjoyed, and I tried to search for more after listening to a few, there were just some that were just like, oh, these are just not as good as I wanted. So I kind of thought to myself, okay, well, if I really want to create a good story, well, I'm going to have to make it. And so that's what began my journey in voiceover, was wanting to create my own story. So and me and my buddy Vince still do that to this day. We created a Star Trek audio drama. And so
right.
Endless Vigilance Star Trek fan production. And so to this day, we're still doing it. Still, we're 17, almost 19 episodes in, and having a lot of fun with that. And that's what sort of started my voiceover career, and learning, to what the business is like, and so on and so forth, and how much it differs from being a stage actor, right? Because there are a lot of changes, right? When you're on stage, you can project, you can be theatrical, and that's not necessarily something you always want to do, especially in an audio drama and in voiceover, right? There are times you can be, but that's sort of what started there. So at the same time, that's when I began not only my career in voiceover, but also my career in audio engineering too, learning both at the same time. So about 2019, 2020, and I've been going strong ever since.
Nice.
Sorry, Mike, go ahead.
No, go for it, Mitch.
No, I was just going to say the thing that I found, and I was waiting to say this after Rob spoke, because I find this so interesting about everyone that I've encountered so far that is in this industry, is everyone in some capacity who is doing this business and doing it right is always creating even before voiceover, and I think for me, even in my own voiceover journey, even though I'm not the real Mitch,
You still have a journey.
You notice, though, like a total difference, because there's been times when I haven't had any creative outlets, even since I've been in voiceover, even though I've only been in it for 3 years, but I've just noticed, like, there is like, you will suffer in this business and in your acting choices and all those things when you don't have other creative outlets already going on. And so I just think that's even, further case in point to just what I've noticed, with what Sam said and Rob said. They both already were creating even before they got into voiceover. It's just a part of them and their nature,
I also think that as a creator, you have to be creating. Like, if that is your calling, that is what you're going to do, and it's going to find you in some form or fashion. And it's also, it kind of looks to the landscape of the voiceover industry as it is. Like, it's, I imagine from talking to people a couple of decades ago, you could just be a voice actor, right? Mm-hmm. And now you have to know a little bit of audio engineering.
Yeah.
You got to be willing to create your own content to get yourself out there and to, get opportunities. It's just it's a different environment than what it used to be, from what I understand. Like, I've only been in this for 5 years, so I don't know what it was like 15 years ago. But I have spoken to people, and that's kind of the consensus that I know it to be.
No, and I hear the exact same thing. I was talking to Katie Lee about that today. I said, it seemed like the formula, and I wouldn't know because I'm still a young whippersnapper, but it seems like, from when you watch a lot of the voiceover podcasts and stuff like Jim Cummings and stuff like that, a lot of them will say, like if you want to say the veteran, people in voiceover, kind of the formula was, you got your demo reel, even though it was like on tape or CD or whatever, then you got an agent, and then kind of from there, that was all you did or / needed. You didn't really have to do all the self-marketing and the social media and get your own website, that was kind of just, it was those sort of steps, other than obviously the training that you would need. And now it's just totally different. If you want to do this full-time, you're not just a voice actor, you're a business owner, and as you said, you're audio engineering, you have to do a little bit of all the things that you didn't really have to do.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I wonder how many old time voice actors from the 50s, 60s, 70s, even 80s, 90s knew anything about audio engineering. They just went in. They knew that a microphone was in front of them. They read a script and then said thank you very much and walked away, and someone else engineered it.
Absolutely.
I would imagine there's probably a few that maybe dabbled in both, but I would venture to guess Mel Blanc had absolutely, hey, I did my job, now you do your job.
That's right. Well, many of those actors would have been film actors, right? That would have come on into voice. So they would have been going between both film and so. Yeah, chances are probably not very many would have dabbled in audio engineering, especially, back then DAWs didn't exist. You were working on big tables and mixer machines and actual physical compressors and things. And absolutely.
Mm-hmm.
And then COVID came around and screwed everybody up.
Yeah. It's one of those things. It's that blessing and a curse at the same time, right? Because it opened up a whole new possibility for people who don't live in LA or New York to be able to get into this industry. Here we all sit in our home. I know, Sam, if you're watching this and not listening to it, Sam is the only one really not in a booth type area. But
that's my booth. It's just really warm.
Yeah, I know. I'm feeling it in here right now because it's 80 degrees down here in Texas, and so summertime in the booth is no fun. But
it can get very hot.
The fan is also way too loud. So what are you gonna do? But yeah, I mean, it's a different world, and so you have to have those avenues and have those different ways to be creative, and that's where, the thing that is important to at least three of us in this room, audio dramas, is really in the past couple years taken off. Now I've only been in the industry for a couple years as well. Never started this late in the game, but I got involved with Shoestring TV and some good pals there, and we've done some amazing work. And I didn't even know that was a real big thing. I thought, wow, this is a cool thing that somebody is doing. And then I start hearing Iridescent Acorn. I start hearing Antonio Bustos is doing some things. I hear there's all these there's all these other people that are producing these audio dramas. And they've got traction. It's a cool, creative way to do original content and actually sink your teeth into acting. Because every genre, commercial's commercial, right? I mean, you're acting there, but it's really you're describing a product and you're inhibiting. Okay, who is this? Who am I, and who am I talking to about this thing? And it's 30 seconds or a minute, maybe. And so it's a whole different thing. You got your promo, you got your other things, but then you've got, animation. Well, you get to really act there, but a lot of times in animation, right, you're some big, goofy character, or, you got video games where it's short and choppy, and unless it's a big, 7-minute cutscene or whatever. But audio dramas gives us the opportunity to really sink our teeth into a character. Mm-hmm. And it can be an adult character. It can be a real serious piece where you're might as well be acting in front of a camera. And sometimes it's silly stuff, but it's to me it's got a different flavor than animation, because I think, Rob, you mentioned it. You can be way super big in animation. but you kind of have to dial some of that down for the character work you're doing in the audio dramas.
Absolutely. Absolutely. Not to say that there aren't certain instances in which being theatrical and being huge in audio drama doesn't exist, because it certainly does. But many audio dramas, at least the ones that I've listened to, really require you to have a natural reading, a more grounded, real reading, right? These are actual people doing actual things, and they're talking like actual people doing actual things. And so you have to bring that type of energy to those performances, especially when it comes to audio drama.
For sure.
I
So
personally love audio drama that is very charactery. That is probably my favorite. But
well, well.
It is overall, it's more grounded and realistic acting.
Yeah, I mean, I like to play around, and I do some offbeat characters in the ones that I'm in, and I love that. But I also like it when I can really be me and actually attempt to act, So that's fun. So that brings us then to Iridescent Acorn. So Rob and Sam, what did you guys do any audio drama stuff before you hooked up and started IAP? IAP.
IAP, yeah. Rob did more than I did, so I'll let him take on this question first.
Yeah, so, I mean, for me, again, it all stemmed from 2019 when I was listening to a lot of audio dramas and, coming to sort of the realization that if I really wanted to find an audio drama that I really enjoyed, I'd have to make it. And so that's when I began making, along with my buddy Vince, Endless Vigilance, a Star Trek fan production. And that was sort of my delve into acting in audio drama. And then I had done a few others as well, just bit parts here and there in some other audio dramas too. But that was sort of how I started in it as well. So prior to coming to IAP, that was sort of how I delved into audio drama because I loved Star Trek.
Fitting. I realized that I had been listening to audio dramas since I was a kid. I didn't realize that that's what they were called at the time. It was just a theater or a story for your ears to me. I never really considered labels. And then a couple of years into voice acting, and I think it was 2022-ish, I started hearing more and more about it. And then Chelsea Krause came up with the 48-hour audio drama festival, and I participated as an actor in that. And I loved it. It was so fun. And I started finding more audio dramas to be in, and getting reacquainted with the medium, because it had been lost to me for a while. And it was also a reason for me to create my own content. Audio dramas are very accessible for voice actors to learn how to be in the production side, be a creator. As a person who loves to write stories and voice act, and I love logistics, I love setting up a production, this was perfect for me. And I started with, the first one that I produced was Dragon Elf. And that's like a 30-something minute standalone. And I actually came about it because I started doing a couple here and there where I would ask people for 4 random words as a prompt. And one of them, someone gave me Dragon Elf Genie Candy, and that's what I wrote Dragon Elf based on. So I did that one by myself.
How did the candy come in? I'm curious.
So the candy, I actually put that in as when the genie disappears, goes away, candy just falls to the ground in his place. Something silly, something fun.
Yeah.
It was great. So I did that one myself, and I did the audio engineering, which is also why I wanted to do it, because I wanted to learn engineering. So I did that, and then loved it so much that I did Love Exceeds Death, and that was also the same, where someone gave me 4 words for a prompt, and I wrote the story. And that one's the one that I brought in Rob and another friend of ours, Manuel Manuel Mesa. And Manuel did the engineering for that, and Rob helped me kind of figure it out and do it better than I did Dragon Elf. And then at that point, we decided, why don't we just make this a thing? Why don't we just do this together and create a company and make audio dramas and stuff? And so that's what we did.
So how did you two meet then? How did you know did you answer a casting call for it, or did you guys know each other, and Sam, you asked Rob to be in it?
She DM'd me on TikTok.
What?
That's how we met. Yeah.
Wow. So you were posting content on TikTok.
Yeah.
She
yeah,
saw
both,
one of your
both were.
TikToks.
Yeah, so this is at a time when, a number of years back, especially for voice actors, TikTok was really a great tool for actors to really practice in. And one of the practice content that a lot of up-and-coming voice actors were doing was what we called revoicing. So you take a scene from a movie or from an animation, etc., and you strip it down until it had no audio, and you would revoice it and then introduce all the SFX, etc., back in. And I was doing that with a few other voice actors, and Sam was like, "I want to do that too." that's how we met.
Wow.
And then we did our first collab together was, what is it called? This is my idea from The Swan Princess. It was a music, like a singing collab. Very fun.
Yeah.
And then just this beautiful partnership was born then.
That's right. Yeah,
Fantastic.
we had a vision for some very whimsical and fun shows, and we've just moved forward with those. And I mean, it's not just that. I mean, from the amount of ideas that we've come up with will last us our entire career trying to pump out the ideas that we've got
That's
on the
not a
back
bad
burner.
thing that you've already got that backlog.
Yeah.
At
Yeah,
least
you-
15 things on the backlog.
Wow.
That so
Well, that's
Yeah.
very cool. So tell me then, tell us a little bit more about Iridescent Acorn, right? How many products have you put out? How is it all like one-off things? Do you do series? Do you do what kind of stuff has Iridescent Acorns put out up to this point?
So we do both series and standalones. We put out Love Exceeds Death under, because I was going to call it Rainbow and Thunder Studios, since Rainbow and Thunder is my voiceover brand. But then we decided to change the name to Iridescent Acorn because we have a story idea that it fits perfectly with, and we thought it was a phenomenal name. There's no details on that yet. But, so that was the first one. And then we have a musical spooky comedy called Monsters Anonymous that we put out a couple of years ago for Halloween. That was really fun. We have... What was the other standalone that we have, Rob?
the Windsong Gift.
Yes, the Windsong Gift. That one was actually written by one of our engineers who we brought in, I think last year, just to kind of test his skills. So he wrote it because we didn't have anything ready for him to work on. So he wrote it and engineered it with Rob's help, and just to kind of let us see where he's at. So we have those. And then I put Dragon Elf under there because I made it and I'm the owner of IEP anyway, so I'm throwing it under there. The series that we have are Set Sail, which was just nominated for Best Acting as well as Best Comedy Fiction Podcast. We did not win, but we were nominated, and that is that's more than enough for me.
It's an honor just to be nominated. Isn't that what they say?
Yes. And then we have The Daring Adventures of Sierra Stone, which is a very fun kind of mini-sodes.
Yeah, I saw you post the latest one, and I actually went to. I didn't have time to listen, but I went to Spotify. I'm like, oh my goodness, these are like 6 to 10 minute things. I really need to do this. So yeah, that's like, I think tomorrow because I do still have a day job, and I have to take a little trip before I go to VOA. So I'm driving up to Oklahoma, and I think I'm gonna do some podcasting while I'm on my way, and that's on my list to do is to do that, because that's nice and accessible. So I'm excited to hear that, and maybe after that I'll start Set Sail, because that sounds like it's right up my alley. So
So
plus,
neither one are completed just yet. We have 2 more episodes left on Sierra Stone, which those will be going out soon, kind of back to back. We decided instead of putting it out every like 5 to 6 weeks like we have been doing, we're just gonna put them out, one week and then the next week, and that'll be the finale for season 1. Set Sail is coming out with episode 15 actually in the next few days.
okay.
So we'll have that one, and 16 is the finale. That'll probably be out late April.
Okay. Well, then my
Then we'll have a
goal.
really cool bonus episode that's going to be just straight 30 minutes of bloopers.
Nice. I love that. I love that.
Like Pixar bloopers. So they're like in character bloopers. We wrote a whole script for this. It's great.
Okay. So it's kind of like like Pixar bloopers.
Mhm.
Okay.
Yeah.
That's fun. So my goal is going to be to catch up on Set Sail before the finale, so that I can listen to the finale when it drops. So keep me honest on that.
You gotta vote.
Text me and say, hey,
Gotta
Mike,
catch up and vote
have
for
you
the
done what you
finale.
said you're going to do, or are you just all talk?
Now,
Once you're
do
done,
y'all-
you got to vote, because we can't write the next season until we have people who vote and they want to happen.
All right, we'll do.
So you said that you all will do a lot of like you called it, like you said, Rob, for you, a thing that you were doing was the revoicings, or if you wanted to call it dubbing, whatever, on TikTok, where you would strip it down. Well, not strip it down on TikTok, but you know what I mean.
Right, we did that on stage.
Take all the audio off.
Yeah,
you
exactly.
you literally mute everything. And
Yeah, and I just
Although,
thought that was
what
super...
voice actor hasn't stood in there butt naked
Exactly.
at least once and recorded something, right?
Plead the fifth. But anyways, no, I just thought that was super interesting, because I'm just sitting here, listening to what Sam is saying and Rob is saying, and I'm hearing so many parallels to me as well, because my introduction into voiceover was audio drama, and I've actually done more audio drama work than I have in any of the other fields. And I think that one of the things that's so appealing about it is that you're not confined to what's on a screen. It's your imagination, so the character can be whatever you want it to look like, and that's in a way more appealing, or can be more appealing than what the artist came up with sometimes. And that was actually what I used to do just as a hobby before I even knew this stuff existed. Was I would take, because I do voice impressions, I would take my favorite movie scenes and such, and I would try to do like the audio stripping and the dubbing and stuff. And I just think too that we're seeing more and more of like what y'all are doing with that I've seen blowing up all over the internet, is people taking the fandom of a whether it be Star Wars or a Star Trek or Lord of the Rings or whatever it be, these big IPs, when the fans aren't getting what they're wanting to see on screen, or maybe a new story that they think would be cool. And now with the internet and everything, it's so accessible just to create what you want, the way you would want the story to go, and it's blowing up. I mean, the other day I saw there's a guy on YouTube called Star Wars Theory, and he's been doing it for over a decade, and he was just a guy that started out in his basement making YouTube videos about Star Wars as a fan, and now he's got fully funded productions with some actual like legit actors, like big name actors that are coming on and doing his Star Wars fan films, and they've got like 20 million plus views on the internet. And so more so just an observation, I guess, but I just thought that was really, I think that's going to be a big thing coming up, as time keeps progressing, and, studios and such are a little, angsty with all the stuff going on in the world about, what to release, what not to release, what we can do, is the fandom, taking control of that and saying, now we have the ability ourselves to create these things and tell stories in our own way as well,
Absolutely. Well, that's one of the really nice things about, indie companies like Iridescent Acorn Productions, is that we have the ability to really take risks with the shows that we make that perhaps big companies may not be able to do. So we have we just say we're having fun, right? But
Right.
I think there are just so many more avenues for an indie company to be able to dive into that may not be for a large big blockbuster company.
I
Right.
always like to say that we're kind of coming into the age of indie at this point. A lot of people are kind of fed up with Hollywood and the stuff that they've been putting out, and the fact that they're not taking risks. I personally think that's hurting them. And indie companies are taking those risks. We're becoming a new version of Hollywood, and I love that a lot of us are remote. A lot of us are.
Yeah.
We're all over, not just the United States, but we're all over the world. Because why we should not all be stuck to one location, right?
Yeah.
Like, not everything has to be done in LA. Like, we all have, most voice actors now have home
LA's
studios.
got enough people living out there. They don't need us moving out there.
Y'all got plenty. I don't want to be over there.
Yeah.
Like, can you
I
imagine?
lived out there and I got away from it. So, it's
There
not
you
all it's
go.
cracked up to be.
Like, can you imagine Iridescent Acorn Productions being, my goal is to be as big as possible. I want IAP to do a lot of things. We're planning to do, animations and video games and graphic novels and all kinds of things in the future. And we're getting there. And I think that we're eventually going to be, a top company. And can you imagine having a studio like this headquartered in Huntsville, Alabama?
That's fantastic.
Like,
Be pretty amazing.
Yeah.
and there's tons of more like studios that are up and coming in these random places. And I think that's beautiful. People are
Come on
Yeah.
up, Sam. We'll meet you at the Barry office, right?
yeah, right?
And the main
People are
reason there is
taking their
because
creative careers in their own hands and doing it themselves and
absolutely.
creating phenomenal content.
and the main reason there is because why not?
Yeah.
Why not?
Creating
We
more
have the
avenues for the
capability
next
now
generation
to
of
be
actors.
remote.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
And I absolutely, there are some companies out there where I absolutely get it. We want everybody to record in the same space because, yes, it sounds like you recorded in the same space. But all of our shows, like, The Daring Adventures of Sierra Stone, Set Sail, we have people recording from all over the world. And it sounds just great. We're able to audio engineer it to where it sounds wonderful. So I think the idea of, everybody recording in the same space all the time is really just, I'm going to say archaic. It's an archaic thought.
Yeah. And there's so many
really
talented
dislike that
people
they're
out
moving
there.
towards putting everybody back in the studios, but the age of indie will fix
Yeah.
that.
Yeah. Well, hey, I hope that we can say we knew you win. And we have exclusive content with Iridescent Acorn before they hit it big. So, so I was wondering, Rob, as Mitch was talking about and talking about what he was talking about with the IPs and stuff. I'm curious. You did this series based on Star Trek, right? With Star Trek characters and with in that world.
Yeah.
How do you do that when it's an established IP? Is it because if it's not for profit, you don't have to get licensing? How does that work?
That's actually a very, very good question. So one of the things about Star Trek loves people to create original content. And so when you are creating Star Trek content, as long as it's completely original. So for instance, Endless Vigilance, a Star Trek fan production, our characters are completely original.
Okay.
Vince and I made them all up. They're all completely original characters.
It's just in the
stories,
world, but it's
just
not
it's just
characters
in the
you know.
universe. That's
Gotcha.
right. And
Okay.
so so when we wanted to do that, the very first thing that we kind of looked at was, okay, well, how can we do this legally? And for those of you that actually know a little bit about Star Trek, there was a film production company called Axanar a little while back that had attempted to create a pre-TOS storyline that ended up being just wonderful visual, great storyline, and it got them in quite a bit of trouble. And so what Paramount did was they came out with a bunch of guidelines. Now, these guidelines are specific for film. There actually are no guidelines whatsoever for audio drama. But the closest thing that Vince and I had was what those guidelines for film. And so we decided, okay, well, if we're going to do this, we're going to try to follow all those guidelines as close as we can to not get into any trouble. Now, there are certain guidelines we don't follow. So for film, they say your episode can't be any more than 15. Ours are normally 45 to an hour long, right? So we those kind of things. But again, those are the things we kind of had to follow in order to create a story. But if you are deciding in a Star Trek storyline to use a character that is actually from the established universe, then you have to use that character in good faith. So, for instance, if you wanted to use Picard, you couldn't make him an evil jerk, right? They wouldn't like that. But if you were trying to use that character in good faith, then that would be fine. And you can mention characters all you want. So if you want to mention the Enterprise you can do that, not a problem. But you want to be able to use those characters in good faith or follow those guidelines as close as possible. That's what we did and still do to this day.
Interesting. Yeah, I wonder if it's the same for all forms of media, whether it's YouTube video, whether it's literature.
Yeah.
I've always been curious about that when you see so much Star Wars specifically,
Yeah.
right? So much Star Wars content out there, from videos like Mitch was talking about to to book series and everything. And I know that a lot of it is tied in, but man, there's a lot of it, and there's got to be a lot of people that are doing that outside of Disney, outside the studio. So, that's interesting information, Rob.
Absolutely. I mean,
About
it's
dealing with IPs.
ultimately we're fans loving the universe, and that was sort of it. And so that's just sort of was my entry into voiceover, was creating that audio drama. And I, at the time, I didn't know how to audio engineer. I didn't know how to write a script. I didn't know any of those things when I began. And so to learn how to script write and to learn what is a DAW, what is a compressor, right? And to go from okay, how does a compressor work, to now talking about cascading priority matrices. For a time frame,
You lost me on that one.
It's amazing how much you can learn in that, in that time frame. Yeah, it's kind of a funny thing. Yeah, what's a compressor? And now I could tell somebody what a cascading priority matrix is in a DAW. And
Yeah, we won't get into that now, but I'll ask you offline. I'm
And
curious.
that show has been running for, I think, 7 years now?
Since 2020
Amazing.
was our first episode.
6 years.
Yeah.
How
Wow.
many? Tell them how many listens you guys have so far.
Close.
'Cause it's phenomenal.
Close to 100,000.
Wow.
And we don't do any, like Vince and I don't do any marketing. We just put the episode out and just let the listenership
find it.
enjoy it.
Wow.
But that being said, I mean, there were a number of other Star Trek audio dramas that came before us, like Starship Excelsior was one that came before us. Outpost, a Star Trek fan production, which, by the way, if you are going to create a Star Trek fan production, you can't call it Star Trek. It is the name of the show, a Star Trek fan production, and that's what it has to be.
Gotcha.
And so, and so we just sort of wanted to ride along the coattails of those, to create our own story, and so much so that I've used characters from those shows. I've some of the actors that have been on Outpost and Starship Excelsior, I've got on on Endless Vigilance.
Pulled him in.
You know, I myself have been on, you know, another Star Trek audio drama that just started. A fellow by the name of Jeff, you know, really enjoyed Endless Vigilance, and, you know, it inspired him to create his own Star Trek audio drama. And so I got to play Vulcan in that one. That was fun.
Ooh.
And then promptly get killed, and
Oh.
you know, that's all right.
That's okay.
I've kind of become the
Guest
Sean Bean
starring
of the
Rob
voiceover world. So is this character? Yep, I'm going to die.
Oh no.
Or severely injured at some point.
Or severely injured, or
Yeah.
incredibly heartbroken.
Yeah,
One
what
of those
color
two.
shirt is he wearing? Got it. Okay.
Not
Well,
the
that's
Sean.
yeah. I mean, that's 7 years, man. That's incredible.
Yeah,
and
absolutely.
100,000 listeners.
Yeah.
Wow.
In fact, episode 19 drops tomorrow of
Okay.
Endless Vigilance, a Star Trek fan production. So,
cool.
and actually, Sam's in the show as well.
Ooh, she had to pull her in. Of course she had to. Now, Sam,
Right.
are you a Trekkie, or did you just kind of?
He just
Yeah.
kind of pulled me in. I don't know nothing
okay.
about Star Wars. I don't watch Star Wars.
That's right.
He was just like, hey,
Or Star Trek.
I need to act.
Yeah, you just did the
It was
native
committed
robot.
the ultimate crime.
It was just one of those cases where I had an actor who, for personal reasons, decided to pull away from the project, which was completely fine. But the voice profile I knew Sam could do, so I just went pretty please.
Well, glad she said yes.
Let's for
So-
a very, very brief moment touch on this Sean Bean thing. I need to know. So I gotta ask someone. Did it throw you for a loop that he looked exactly the same in Thrones as he did on Lord of the Rings, or is that just me?
No,
No,
I mean,
I
you know.
thought that he had been drinking from like the Fountain of Youth or something. 'Cause he looks the same.
Absolutely.
That Hollywood juice.
Yeah, don't drink the juice.
I hear he won't take any more roles where he dies because he's tired of being
Really?
typecast as the guy who dies.
No, he's got a legacy to live.
Yeah. And, well, the funny thing is, like, I saw something a while back that was like, he's not even the guy who's died the most times in Hollywood. There's somebody that's done it like 3 times more than him. And it's like a prolific, 50s, 60s, 70s actor or whatever, who's done hundreds of films and died hundreds of times. And it's, I can't remember what it was. I got to look it up.
He's just really good at dying. You know.
We do death well. You die well. Oh,
Yeah,
thanks.
well, hey, if you're going to be good at something, you might as well, embrace it, right? So, I do want to touch on, though, the 48-hour audio drama contest, because I heard about it last year, and in talking with you, Rob, at One
Yep.
Voice, and a couple other people, and it sounded and so got on your Discord, and I signed up. I'm going to be in it this year, and I can't wait. It just seems like it's going to be such a great experience. So you said that someone else started this, but you guys are now like fully, very involved in it. So how did that come about?
Oh, that was a very good.
Kelsey
good
Krause
question.
was the person who started it. Phenomenal voice actor. She got the idea from, I think it was 48-hour theater, right?
Yeah, she had done 48-hour theater as well as 48-hour film festivals before.
Yeah. Now, this festival is not for the faint of heart. I'll tell you that right now. And it's the board of executives, so I think there's 5 of us at this point. And because Rob and I are on the board, we just put IEP as the sponsors. Because we do a lot of the heavy lifting.
Yeah.
And then Vince, who is his partner in Two Sober Dwarves, is also on the board, so they're also a sponsor.
Yeah.
But yeah, no, it's a super, super fun event where entire episodes up to 20 pages of audio dramas are created in 24 hours. Sorry, 48 hours.
Hence the
Or
name.
less.
That's right.
Yep.
Yeah. And yeah, I mean, I've started to get the emails on it or seen the stuff in Discord, and I'm glad I'm just voice acting because it drops at midnight for the writers.
Yeah.
And so the writers have to pull an all-nighter to come up with scripts. And
Well, they don't
because there was a
have
part
to.
of me that's like,
Yeah.
I've done some writing.
That's right. Yeah,
But
they don't have to.
I'm like, let me just do voiceover this year, and then when I saw that drop, I'm like, holy crap!
That's right. Well, they get the
Maybe someday,
prompts
but-
at midnight. They don't
Yeah.
necessarily have to write all night. It's just that they have a 16-hour window in which
Yeah,
to write,
that's
and
the thing, right?
By 4 p.m. EDT or EST, it's they've got to have that script finished
Yeah,
and ready
if
for the
I was
actors.
in the writing room, I wouldn't want to trust myself to go. I'll get some sleep, and I'll still have 8 hours to go. It'll be fine.
Well, that's what I do.
Oh, is it?
And it's
I don't-
Well, I guess
Like,
you're more
I usually-
prolific of a writer than I
that's
am.
right. And
I'll get the prompt. I'll usually stay up to get the prompt at like
Yep.
11 my time, and that'll start the gears turning while I'm sleeping. So by the time that I'm awake, I'm really like honed in and thinking about what I'm going to write. And usually I have a good idea, and I start actually putting words to the script by about 8 to 8:30 in the morning, and I typically finish on the dot.
most do. It's
Yeah.
it's actually last festival, really good, a very good friend of mine, very good voice actor, really good writer named Miranda Celine. By 11 in the morning, her script was already in the drive, and I was like,
Well,
what happened? But she had written all night. She literally
I've had
did
those
pull in a
moments too
lighter.
where I've written something and it's just flowed. I've also had those moments where I've tried to work on a script and it's taken me months
Yeah.
because I do 4 lines and go, I'm stuck. And so, yeah, I mean, to have that deadline,
Yeah,
if I started at midnight, sure, I could be done by 8 in the morning, maybe.
absolutely.
I
Yeah.
could also be to the minute and still stressing over it. It really
happens,
depends on the
right?
idea and how
happens.
quickly everything flows
That's the
out.
challenge.
And of course I like to give countdowns. I get a secret thrill out of telling people how much time they have left.
You're evil, man.
I am an evil, sadistic
Oh,
individual
wow.
that just loves. You got 5 hours, guys. it's but and so that's it. I mean the basic formula of the weekend sort of goes at midnight. All the writers will get their prompts, their items, and of course the theme is already well known. So, for instance, this one is Crossroads, right?
Mm-hmm.
And so they're going to get their prompt, which they won't know until literally at midnight. And then they have all that 16 hours to write. After their 16 hours, then the actors have a 4-hour window with which to act. And once those actors have finished, then the audio engineers have a full 28 hours to parse, mix, master, and have that episode stream ready by 11:59 p.m. on the Sunday. And so it's a wild ride. It's a crazy speed challenge, and we have done it 6 times to date, and this will be our 7th of the 2 that we'll do this year. So
Well,
by the end of this year, we'll have done 8.
I'm excited to be involved in this one. I can't wait. Seems like it's going to be a blast, and I can't wait to hear the finished products. So
Absolutely, and every actor that participates, we give an IMDb credit to. So
who doesn't love
We
that?
have awards now, so
Yes.
that's
Yeah.
yeah,
All right, so we're closing in on an hour, and I don't want to fail to ask about one of the main reasons y'all reached out and wanted to be on the show. Now, for those of you listening to this, hopefully by now you will have listened to the other shorter version of this, because we are going to record a promo interview about something that is near and dear to Sam and Rob's heart. And so I'll ask you about that now. Why don't you go and tell us what is coming up for Iridescent Acorn Productions?
So we have a new series that we are producing called The Bells in Lilac. It is an epic high fantasy audio series written by Willem Neill, and we've done the casting. We're in pre-production at this point. Recording will start this summer, and then it'll be in the engineer's hands, and it's a big show. There's entirely new races. There's no humans whatsoever. Entirely new races, new cultures, histories of the world. Will has done a phenomenal job at world building and lore writing. Like, he's very, very big on that. So all of his characters, the whole world has a humongous backstory that he's written for it. It's a very interesting tale about friendship and, found family, and a little bit of redemption arc.
Okay.
Surrounding the main character is Iridae the Golden, aka Blade of Uithia. And this.
All right.
Rob, do you want to put in more information?
I mean, one of the things this is, I think, anybody who really enjoys, those high fantasy anime shows, right? If you really enjoyed, movies like Conan the Barbarian, Dragon Slayer, right? Those wonderful fantasy movies of the '80s. We're really hoping to tap into people who enjoy those, because this story really captures. That nostalgia of those incredible, wonderful high fantasy stories that
I think a few
even
of the
today.
references
Right?
for it were like Tales of Bersaria, Rising of the Shield Hero.
Yeah.
What was the other one? Dark
Blade of the
Souls.
Lotus War.
Yeah, that one.
Yeah.
So yeah. Anyway, we can continue.
Well, high fantasy's right up my
Absolutely.
alley, so I can't wait.
Yeah, it's just a wonderful
Teacher.
wonderful story.
Anime inspired.
Well, good. And we will definitely, by the time you watch this, people, the Kickstarter will not be live. It's going live when? In the middle of April sometime?
Yes, April 14th.
April 14th. Okay.
April 14th is the launch date. We are in pre-launch right now. So if anybody sees this before the launch date, you can follow the Kickstarter to get notified whenever we launch.
That's right.
Well, we will make sure we get that link from you so we can put it in the liner notes and all of our social media content to promote this episode. So we want to help you reach your goal so that you can produce this as intended. So
Absolutely.
really looking forward to that, and really looking forward to talking to you a little bit more in depth about it in just a little bit here. But now, Mitch, you know what time it is?
Time that Mitch has an itch. An
Mm-hmm.
itch that
Do you
can
have an
only
itch,
be...
Mitch? Do
I
you have an itch for Mitch in his place?
I do.
Okay.
I'm feeling it. It's right here.
Okay.
I got
Well,
an
we got
itch
an itch.
that only a roulette can scratch.
Yeah. It's time to play
I love
around a little bit, folks, and we got 4 people here. So this should be interesting. Normally we do it with 3. We're gonna have 4 people, and so let's pause for a minute here and write a little scripty poo and come right back. Oh yeah, you want weird? We got weird. We are 4 pieces of bubblegum stuck to the bottom of a shoe. You can thank Rob. Here we go. Is this it? Is this the afterlife?
Oh, well, if it is, it's got a strong rubber sole aesthetic.
I told you not to trust the sidewalk. It's a trap. A sticky, gritty trap.
Can we not spiral immediately? We just met. And I'm still processing the adhesion.
Oh, I used to be minty fresh now. Now I smell like pavement and regret.
Oh, shh. There. Hey, look on the bright side. We're together. A little community. A support group.
A support group that is literally supporting a shoe.
Wait. Are we under something?
Yeah. Big something. Heavy, judgmental. probably has opinions about arch support.
I think we're stuck to the bottom of a shoe.
Oh,
Fantastic. We've gone from individual identity to footwear accessory.
Look, maybe it's temporary. Maybe we'll fall off.
with what legs?
I don't like this. I don't like this at all. Make it stop. Make it stop.
Stay calm. We assess, we adapt, we... Oh no.
What?
I feel vibration.
Oh gosh. No. That's just you panicking.
No. It's rhythmic. Approaching.
Footsteps.
You're kidding.
Oh, that's not good. That's really not good.
Oh, what happens when the shoe moves?
Friction, pressure, existential dread.
Maybe we'll finally detach.
Or worse, we'll smear. Oh! I vote not smearing.
I'm not ready. I'm not ready to die. I'm not ready. I had plans. I was going to be a bubble again.
Focus. Everyone compress. Present minimal surface area.
That's not how surfaces work.
Wait. Listen. The footsteps stopped.
Wait. No, that's worse. Why? Why did they stop?
Anticipation. The quiet. Before the...
Storm. Oh no. Oh no!
Oh no.
Is that a hand?
Oh gosh, I don't like being perceived.
Maybe they'll scrape us off. Maybe this is a rescue.
Oh, please let it be a rescue. Please let it be a
No
rescue.
scraping. Rotation only.
Rotation!
Why rotation?
Alignment. Foot entry imminent.
I can hear the sock.
You can hear it. Well, I can smell it. Wait, how can you hear a sock?
It's descending. Oh, God, it's descending.
Brace for impact.
I regret everything.
Together, team!
This is so intimate.
Contact.
I'm flat.
I'm wider than my dreams.
Structural integrity. Holding. Barely.
Is it over?
No!
Why, no.
Because now we travel.
Oh, I feel it. The first step.
It's like an earthquake with the schedule.
Every step a test. Every surface unknown.
Where the hell are we going?
I don't know, but I believe it's outside.
Outside. Fresh air? Dirt? Oh, adventure.
Gravel. Heat. Infinite indignities.
I'm so scared. Hold me.
Me too.
Also, a little excited, huh?
Don't get too attached to hope.
Oh, too late. I'm already attached to all of you.
Aw.
Oh,
Fine. Sentiment acknowledged.
Next step. Incoming!
Okay. We got this, right? Together?
together.
Together.
Then let's stick this landing.
Well, that's not very comforting.
Here we go again.
That was amazing, folks.
Bravo, well done.
I don't think anybody has acted bubblegum that well ever in the history of bubblegum. Let me just say that. We have a niche.
became the
Let's
bubblegum.
take this and let's run with it and create some bubblegum related content.
Bubble gummies. Oh wait,
That was amazing.
That's already
All right.
taken.
Well, hey, that was fun. Sam, Rob, thanks for playing with us. Thanks for telling us your story. Thanks for giving us. This was nice. This was a very audio drama centric podcast, and I know you have other interests and other ways that you actually make money and things to be in the industry. But we all have this passion to act and to create and to have wonderful content to listen to. So appreciate you all. And appreciate our listeners for listening in. So now it's time for awkward goodbyes. So goodbye.
Goodbye.
Boy.
Oh, there's a rug in the way. I can't go back any further.
You stuck. All right, bye, y'all.
See y'all.